Good afternoon. Instead of doing the normal thing I do about projects that I'm working on in these 100 videos, this is a little bit of a departure, but I just wanted to address something that's been on my mind. And the reason it's been on my mind is I remember when I first voted, and that was Carter and Reagan, and I thought I knew a whole heck of a lot about how things worked, how they should work, yada yada. Um, the thing is, I've learned quite a bit since then, and that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 elections ago. So I've got some experience now in how things typically run, and of course, every election is different, but not so much as this last one. And by this last one, I don't mean Biden. I mean the one before that. Um, that one was so different and so skewed compared to what had gone on before. I thought I would just address it because I believe that for a lot of, let's just call them youngsters, I was, I guess, 18 or 19 when I voted. I voted the first time I could, and like I said, like a lot of kids, we all go through that where we reach young adulthood and we think we know more than at any other point in our life because we certainly do know more than when we were younger. But as we grow older, we realize how little we do know. So I knew more back then than I have ever known at any other point in my life, or so I thought. What I'm getting at is I think it's important for all of us who have some some experience and well, the experience of former elections and presidents just within our adulthood, how things tended to be. I think we should share that with people who are just growing up and starting to vote now because these last two elections are not typical of what has gone down before. And certainly a large part of that is the internet. A larger part of that was just the individual involved who skewed this in a very bad way. But I think it is our responsibility to continually inform the younger generations of how things normally work. That is just how they typically have been run in the past, right or wrong, how they were intended per a strict reading of the Constitution, and how they should work per your opinion. I'm not going to tell you how they should work per my opinion. That's not for this video. I will in future videos. But I'm pretty sure that the election of 44 and a half, and that one half is actually granting him some credit, was not normal nor constitutional, nor how it should work. And in the, well, okay, given that I said it wasn't constitutional, the way he got elected, losing the popular vote yet winning the electoral vote, is typically how it works anymore, even though the electoral vote is not the way it is laid out in the Constitution, and that's for another video also. Those numbers have changed. The representation of electors compared to what it was in the Constitution it's not even near that anymore. It's and this is not some wacko conspiracy theory. It's the Reapportionment Act of 1929. It's all on paper. It's all in the congressional record. It's all easily searchable. This isn't something I'm just making up out of the whole cloth. But in any event, Trump said before he got elected that he didn't think the Constitution was that important. That he didn't think the Constitution should be followed to the point of suicide, which was basically a statement of, I don't think the Constitution should be followed if it goes against what I believe in, largely, because he wasn't talking literally about suicide. He was talking about following the Constitution even when it goes against the grain of what you personally believe, which is going to be different for every single person. That's why we have a Constitution. But anyways, the election of 46, that is President-elect Biden, was and is not normal. We're still going through the court battles by Trump, even though all of the states have, by this point, certified. We're still dealing with this nonsense. I believe with the advent of widespread net usage and the idiocy involved there, and the idiocy involved with the individual that brought this all down on us, which he definitely claimed the lion's share of idiocy that we've been dealing with, although you also got to give credit to all the flying monkeys he has that do his bidding. I think we need to impart this wisdom. This is not normal. This is not how things normally go down. This is not something that needs to be fixed. I believe, in fact, that this is an example of how democracy, how our system, the checks and balances, the three branches of government that we have, is supposed to work when one or even two branches are going off the rails. The court systems stopped the nonsense. Many of those judges were Republican appointed or Trump appointed judges. This was by no means a Democrat conspiracy to keep the truth swept under the rug. This was the court saying, look, if you have evidence, show us. We'll look at it. If you don't have evidence, get out of my court. And it worked. So, two branches of government tried to do an end run around we the people. We voted, Trump, you're fired. Get out of here. They didn't want to hear that. Well, when your guy or gal loses whatever the race, that's never a good feeling, but that's just how it works. You can't expect to win every election. Every time you vote, no matter how much you wish it goes your way, life is not the secret. It doesn't matter how hard you want something. That doesn't mean it's going to come true. That's just not the way it works. But the system worked the way it's supposed to. It's not broken. It's a muddled mess because sowing confusion and obfuscating what is actually happening works to their advantage, and it disenfranchises people who either just don't want to believe, are not smart enough or not knowledgeable enough to understand this worked exactly the way it's supposed to. In the end, they're 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 telling their people this is a farce, this is a fraud, this is a scam. No, no, you're trying to create a fraud, a farce, and a scam, and we're not going to let you because the system works. And I think it's important for everybody who's been through a few elections, everybody who understands on both sides, but anybody who understands and appreciates that however much you might not like it or however much you might like it, it's just the system working the way it was supposed to, regardless of all of the obstacles, all of the trying to destroy the U.S. Postal Service, trying to suppress the vote wherever they could, trying to sow confusion and discontent and distrust, all of that stuff, which is not what our elected officials are supposed to do. All of them doing that, it didn't work in their favor at the end. All it got was a lot of disgruntled losers who are now very upset, very confused, and very distrustful of the system because it worked the way it was supposed to. I think it's important that we continually hammer home the truth because of all the lies that have been spouted over and over and over again. That's the way any authoritarian does it. Our best examples are Mussolini, Stalin, Hitler. They would just lie and lie and lie and lie and lie, knowing that if you tell a lie often enough, sooner or later it becomes the truth. Not the truth as in facts, but the truth as in Kellyanne Conway sees it, alternative facts, which are just lies dressed up pretty. So, we've got the truth on our side. The thing is, having the truth on your side is of little avail to you unless you make sure as many people as possible know it, appreciate it, believe it, and are willing to back you up because they know what you're saying is the truth. And you have to make it known how bad he was for the country, how much he cost us. Just look at his golfing and his tweeting. Just look at everything he did that cost this country money when he said, well, I'm not even taking a paycheck. Look at how special I am. The thing is, he may not have taken a paycheck, but he cost his country way more than if we had just paid a relatively normal president to occupy the White House and do the job. I'm going to add that up for a future video, but we are talking in the hundreds of millions, possibly in the billions, that he has cost us when, and this is something that needs to be hammered home, he said he would not golf. He would be too busy. He has golfed more than any other president ever. That right there is just a big lie. He's bad for civics and he's bad for education about democracy because he's tried to destroy it with his alternative facts because he doesn't believe in the Constitution. They couldn't even teach it to him. He doesn't care about the truth. He will just say whatever comes into his brain and just spout it out unfiltered, and it doesn't matter if it's the truth or not. He will either double down to back it up or just say, I didn't say that to begin with, even though we have it on video. And we just have to make it known that this atmosphere This is not normal. This is not the way people behave. When there were only three television channels, ABC, NBC, and CBS, and I don't want to make it sound like when I was a kid I had to walk 10 miles to school through 4 feet of snow uphill both ways, you know, crazy old man stuff. But when we had three television channels, they were all competing basically for the same audience. They were trying to reach as many people as possible, so they were trying to hit that midpoint, and they were very sober and serious in the way they delivered the news. They couldn't compete nowadays with what we've got going on, where you've got far left and far right bubbles that are specifically geared towards a very small audience because everybody's trying to get that niche audience, and it is just not good for discussion. For it is not good for actually imparting information. It's good for disseminating information, but it's not good for imparting information over a broad spectrum. And the whole idea of being entertaining as possible in order to get those few viewers to watch your particular channel is not helping things. And I know there's no way I'm going to convince everybody that, you know what we need is a little more seriousness, a little more gravitas. Nobody's going to go for that. Unfortunately, nobody's going to go for that. But since we have so blurred the line between entertainment and just reporting anymore, or op-ed and opinion and reporting anymore, that just straightforward reporting is practically gone, and people don't, to the extent possible, without bias, try to deliver the truth, and it's really hurting us. It is really hurting us. I had more to say, but it's been a long day. This was not really well thought out. I just wanted to go off on a tangent because I haven't done much in the way of any of my projects today. I said I was going to do 100 videos in 100 days. I needed to get a video out. I thought I would go off on a tangent, just say what I felt about this particular topic, hopefully get a lot of it out of my system, and just move on, because I've started this painting. It's going to be, just wait till you see. It's going to be good. But I have nothing to show for today, so I thought I would just do this. I thank you for watching. I've got a Patreon link down below. I've got art for sale. I've got hats for sale. I don't have any money coming in right now, but anything I could sell art-wise, some other stuff, but that's the extent of it. So I thank you for watching, and if you didn't watch, well then, what's wrong with you, man? That's all I've got for tonight. The next one will be better. I will talk to you then.